about 9 o'clock, or just after, on Saturday 3rd of December. And I'm back at Stanley Name Cap. Gonna try and head into the Crosscut today and camp overnight. I was here a couple of weeks back, 3 maybe, and went down to Upper Halquar, and I thought I'd try and get to the Crosscut that way. And the river was a bit too much. And after crossing a few times, I found I was struggling, so I turned back, and by the time I'd driven all the way back up Bindery Road to here, I just didn't have the enthusiasm to start again. So, oh well, that trip didn't do much, but at least I saw my first alpine copperhead for the season. Anyway, we'll get going and see how it works. Another friendly copperhead. Off you go, matey. He's the sun himself. Have a good one. Still a bit of water. Time to start heading up. Well, that hasn't got any less steep. So it's just easing off a fraction, which is good. There's the slightest breeze now, which helps. It's a bit warm. I'm wearing a black t-shirt like an idiot. Anyway, a few trees to clear if I remember, then not long after that it's easier. A bit more puffing, but leaving the four-wheel drive track now, going straight up the top of the hill. So made it to the majestic summit of Mount Thorn, had a bit of a break, checked on some sunscreen, a bit of a drink, and as you can see, great view as always, and we'll push on. Oh, looks like someone didn't approve of the relationship. It's a shame. Poor gnomes. Starting to get some views. I think that's the last bump in this range before the Queen Spur, but I might be wrong. There's a Crosscut, and I think it's Stanley Name Spur I've got to go up. So yeah, I think it's up 1700 metres, and when you Queen Spur you're 1200 and something, so there's a 500 metre climb there. I'm going to be sweating bullets or buckets or something. Oh well, that's the latest problem. Made it to the last bump, I think, for Queen Spur Road, I hope. Bit of a slog there. It's a lot hotter than it was a month ago. I'm surprised how warm it is. So I guess we've got the summer sun, and for most of the way the wind is totally blocked. So occasionally get a little bit of breeze and it feels nice, but otherwise you're just cooking. So starting to feel it. But anyway, keep plugging along. Getting a nice view. It's Madala, Howard and West Peak around to the Crosscut, I think. And Buggery. Speculation. Track's yeah, the track's a little bit, at times a little bit overgrown, over and under trees and everything. Had a massive cramp just before, so that's not a good sign. Glad the kids from Geelong Grammar come through here, because there's a couple of points where I would have been scratching my head, and then you see their tape. Not Northern Prom worthy yet, still a track. Bunker, a bushfire bunker I think. Down the Queen Spur Road finally. That was quite steep and rough down coming down. Six. The other side of the bunker, might have had a roof that fell in, or we're at the intersection of Queen Spur, which is not far from the bunker. I'm guessing that was some helpful signage once in the, back in the day. way to Crosscut, or I'm guessing Queen Spur somewhere over that way. Queen Spur Road if you want to go to. Well, it's pretty overgrown now. Yeah, a little bit rough. Heading up to Stanley Name Spur. So this is a bit of a struggle. Used up last of my water at Queen Spur, so I have to push on or go to somewhere where there's a river. So I might as well go to Stanley Name campsite, and there's access to the King River there. I may have underestimated this walk. The heat's what's got me. Absolutely shot. Still going up. There's the crosscut poking through. It's levelled off a little bit, so it's not as hard. I don't think it was that hard anyway. It's just that I'm running empty, so pretty simple climb seems fucking hard. Anyway, shouldn't be too far to the campsite. It's a bit of view. So I managed to go a little bit off piste. Got a bit lost. I don't know how. Not far from the campsite. Cramping in the legs every time I lift them up I get over a log. I saw the rest of the Stanley Name Spur up to the Crosscut. There's just no way in the current state I could get up that. Back on track. Just headed up higher on the spur. You can get lost map. It's free, but sometimes isn't accurate. There's two suggested routes near each other, and the one I ended up taking was not a good one. Oh, so would you believe it? I'm lost again. I was on the track, and I wasn't. It's like Wilson's Prom Northern Circuit, except there is actually a proper track to follow. I was just losing it. And not having a good time. It should be close to the campsite. Yes, I found water. After that camp, Stanley Name Spur, so I grabbed a bit of water. Sure, I'll be grabbing some more. Doing a little bit of cooking. Got a nice view. West Peak, Mount Howard. Crosscuts poking through. Unless I improve a lot tomorrow morning, I'm just going to head back and stand. The highest quality weighs next to nothing. Costs 30 bucks, I think. It's so flimsy they've already broken the zipper, and a good fart would explode it. But it's going to be a good night tonight. I actually tried seam sealing it and totally failed. So I don't know if that's because of me or because of the tent. I'm not very good at these things. Anyway, Mount Howard's putting on a bit of a display. The sun's starting to set. Sunday the 4th, about 5:30. Actually slept right for my usual camp sleep last night, which was great. I'm absolutely wrecked still. Just got some water, and that was like a long hike. So I'm just gonna, for various reasons, not least I'm stuffed, just gonna head back. I want to get up onto the Thorn Range before the heat comes in. It's supposed to be 35 near home later in the day, so even though it's alpine, it's still, the sun's still kicking. I don't want to be in it. So this is the track coming up. Just left the campsite, and according to the GPS, I went down that way, a fair way, and then had a half an hour or so of excitement, bashing through scrub before I could get back to the track. Anyone watching this who thinks I'm good at this bushwalking caper, there's proof that I'm not. The track's pretty obvious actually, but then I was buggered and had the sunnies on last night, so maybe it didn't help. Nice. Maybe another time. So, got to head over there. That's the high point there is the last bump on the Thorn Spur, so drop down a few hundred metres and then to get to Queen Spur Road. And then it's pretty rough and ready at the lower bits. You can see up higher there's some clear spots. There was also some, I don't know, right near the top of that bump. It was quite scrambly bits, so it'll take a little bit of effort to get up there. That's still a fair while away. Back at Queen Spur. Right up to the bunker and have a break before I start climbing. There's the bunker. And now start, if I remember, it's a bit scrubby and some maybe navigationally some climbing coming up now. I think I'm through most of the scrubby bit. So what do do? So I'm on the Thorn Range proper. Can't really see a lot. This is the first prominence, about 1300 and something. Got a little drop and then up there somewhere. That's the next 1400 metre prominence. So made it up that little bump. It wasn't probably as bad as I thought. I was thinking that just to get up from Queen Spur Road to this first major bump on the Thorn Range or prominence, wherever it is, it was going to be a shift or a job, but it wasn't as bad. Maybe because it's cooler and pressure. I was thinking about why I was so crap yesterday, and apart from the heat and wearing a black top and not being an athletic specimen, I actually had a virus last week where this time last week I was just asleep all day in bed or barely conscious, and it didn't really clear up until Wednesday, so maybe that had something to do with it. It wasn't quite over it. But anyway, I feel sort of okay, so I'm just heading back. Keep going. Look at that. Lovely scenery. The weather's gorgeous. Might be a bit warm in the afternoon, but you could not come out and have a walk if you get the opportunity. So, made it to Red Rock Saddle, and that's the next little climb up this bump. That's the bump I was on before. And out in West Peak, big hill. I don't know that point is in the centre of the screen. Is that King Billy or something? It's right there. Oh, a bit harder. Had some steep, gravelly bits of loose gravel. Just down a bit though. And up we go again. Short and sharp. Another bump conquered. Yeah. Alright. Hello, Mount Magdala. Somewhere in the background I think it's Mount Thorn. I hope it is. Made it to Mount Thorn summit. It's been a bit of cloud and wind, so it's improved the conditions. Doesn't feel like I'm carrying an electric blanket on my back all the time. Well, I plugged in, turned on to 3 electric blanket. Anyway, it's the last climb. And nice, fairly cruisy bit for a while, and then fairly steep downhill. Back on the 4-wheel drive track. The shade has been helpful. Not much breeze, but otherwise it's still nice. Steep down climb and then a few Ks. I think someone's been up here since I last came through yesterday with a vehicle. There's rocks there, you can see dirt being skidded over rocks. And those trees at the top aren't in front of the road anymore. So nearly back to the start or finish. It's a good hike, I guess. Absolutely knacking myself, which is what I want. Great campsite. Pity about not making it up the Crosscut, but it's still there. Anyway, that's it. Have a good one.